This is the third week in a row that we have done a non-league video, and we've been pretty surprised by the level of enthusiasm and engagement. When you think of the likes of Leyton Orient, Wrexham and Tranmere, some big clubs have dropped out of the Football League over the last decade, and it's not easy finding a way back in. So today, we're taking a look at 7 of the biggest grounds outside of the Football League, and we think it's an interesting mix of a few you could probably guess and a couple more obscure shouts. Here are the 7 biggest non-league stadiums. Brisbane Road, 9,271. We begin this list with Brisbane Road, the home of Leyton Orient, and immediately we have a stadium larger than that of one championship club and a whole host of League 1 and 2 sides. A top flight team for a single season, back in the 1960s, Orient were only relegated from League 1 in 2015, but dropped into the National League in 2017. Their ground, Brisbane Road, set a record attendance of 34,345 back in 1965, but it is a 9,271 capacity all-seater these days. The club have averaged around half that at home games this season. Racecourse Ground, 10,500. Apparently now known as My Racecourse, that sounds a bit odd to us, so we're going to keep calling it the Racecourse Ground. The home of Wrexham AFC for more than 150 years, it too set an impressive record attendance of 34,445 fans for the visit of Manchester United back in 1957. A League 1 club back in 2005, Wrexham are having a hard time of things recently, and this is their 10th consecutive season as a non-league club. Currently going strong in the National League, they have the division's second highest average attendance, averaging 4,613 fans at home games. The Shay, 10,561. Very little separates Wrexham's Racehorse Ground and Halifax Town's The Shay. Another historic ground, The Shay has been the home of Halifax Town since 1921. The original occupants, Halifax Town AFC, were sadly dissolved in 2008, and the reformed club named FC Halifax Town moved in that same year. The ground set its record attendance of almost 37,000 fans back in 1953 for an FA Cup tie with Tottenham, but the capacity was severely reduced in the 1970s. The stadium has 5,830 seats, and while some sources give it a capacity of over 14,000, it is only deemed safe to home 10,561 right now. Edgeley Park, 10,841. The home of Stockport County since 1902, Edgeley Park is the first non-league ground not occupied by a National League side in this 7. A second-tier club who reached the semi-finals of the League Cup back in the 1990s, these have been some dark years for Stockport County. The Hatters fell out of the Football League for the first time in their history in 2011, and went one worse in 2013, dropping into the National League North. Currently lying 10th in English football's 7th tier, they currently average a division-topping 3,452 fans at home games. Gateshead International Stadium, 11,800. The newest stadium in this 7, having been opened in 1955, Gateshead International Stadium is primarily an athletic stadium, but it's also the home of Gateshead FC. Despite Gateshead having a sizable population of around 120,000 people, the football club has always struggled to attract fans due to the popularity of northeast rivals like Newcastle United and Sunderland. That is reflected in their lowly average attendance, which is currently less than 1,000 fans. Gateshead are currently 15th in the National League table, whilst the club's record attendance at the ground is 8,144 fans. Halton Stadium, 13,350. Halton Stadium, also variously known as Lower House Lane, Norton Park, and the Select Security Stadium, is home to the lowliest and most poorly supported football club in this 7. The ground itself is best known for playing host to Widnes Vikings, who play in the top flight of rugby union in England. Since 2012 though, Widnes FC have also played their home games at the ground, which can hold over 13,000 fans. Unfortunately, Widnes only average around 2 or 3% of that capacity, and their record attendance at the stadium is 462. Prenton Park, 16,587. By far the biggest stadium in non-league football is Tranmere Rovers Prenton Park. With a larger capacity than one Premier League club and the majority of League 1 and 2 clubs, the stadium was opened in 1912 and became an all-seater in 1995. Tranmere, who spent the entirety of the 1990s in the second tier of English football, dropped into the non-leagues in 2015 after back-to-back relegations. The club are currently 4th in the National League with a division-topping average attendance of just over 5,000. So that's it for the top 7. Thanks for watching, give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to both subscribe to HITC Sevens and like my new Facebook page. The URL for that page should be on screen now, and you can find an easy link to it in the video description below.